So before we go on with our drawing 12, which we completed the front and side views per the instructions in the part 1, I wanted to go over the scaling equation so that we can fit the drawing in Paperspace per the instructions. The instructions wanted you to have each view spaced 1 inch apart in Paperspace. You're told that the scale for the drawing is 1 to 2. If you use your scaling equation, you can solve for the scaling factor using the known scale, and that's what I've done here. I just took the model space, which is the second number, distance, and the Paperspace distance, which is the first number, and I divided the model space by the Paperspace to get a value of 2 for my scale factor. Now I'm going to solve the scaling equation with my scale factor of 2 plus the fact that I know that I want the Paperspace distance to be 1 inch. So I flip the equation around so that I'm solving for model space, which is equal to Paperspace times the scale factor. I plug in my 1 inch times my scale factor of 2, and I find out that the distance in model space that I need to offset the views is going to be 2. And I'm presuming these are inches, but really this drawing is not given in units. So that allows me to come back over here. I had put them apart, I think 4 units before, just for to get started with. But now I'm going to just going to draw a little layout line right here and offset it 2. And oh well, I already moved the drawing that we had previously from 4. So now I know though that that's 2. And then same thing when I want to do my top view now, I just go to the max height on the chimney and then offset that little measuring line, offset, and we're going to use value of 2, click up to the side we want. So now we have a place to start our top view that will look good in our finished drawing. And I'm just going to throw some projectors on here using the hidden layer for purposes of illustration. So we're just going to put in, oops, make sure that you are pulling your projector straight. So I'm using my polar tracking to keep it straight. Don't want to get that screwed up. And this is the max height. We can put things up here. I don't have any real signs to this. And then now we know that that's the bottom of the top view. This line right here is the bottom of the top view. And I want to put in a 45 projector right here. So now I just want to make sure that my polar tracking is on and that I'm set to 45. And that way when I get it right at 45, I can pull up that 45 on that line. You can check that by checking the properties. You'll see down here it's 45. So we know that the width is, it's right here, right? That's the width, 4.7. And we know that the height, the max height is 2.8. And we also know that the dimension here is 3.6. That's the depth. That's the D value, right? Height, width, and depth. And so we can project to the top view the depth. And so if we change back over to object, we can draw a line, and it would be, actually it will be, to extend this one. it'll be coming over from there. And this side is coming over from here. And those should be hidden. Let's make them hidden. Now, the depth is going to be from here to here. That should be 3.6, and it is. So that's good. So let's just, so now I sort of know where, I know where things lie, and I can start working on projecting different elements of this building. I'm going to get rid of some of these trash lines. I've got a little trash line going here. I don't like this. Let's work on this. So this is a peaked roof. I have the heights, and it has two heights, and it has an overall length that's the sort of be the horizontal component here. So I can draw my projector up for that ridge line, and then I can look at this view and I go, well, this is the ridge that we're talking about, right? This is this whole ridge right here. This is the line, and the chimney interrupts it, but that is the line. So that is the total length of that ridge. So I have the location, and I'm going to put it on the object line, on the object layer. From here to here is the ridge. Full length. That's the D value that's coming back here. And we know that this point right here continues the whole length of the building because we don't have anything that would tell us otherwise. So I'm going to put the edge of the building up on here, and I'm going to connect these to complete the top view of this roof foreshortened slope. And that was the length that I used. These were determined by the front view X component. So let's do the same on this. We have this panel, this part of the roof coming up to here, and I'm going to make sure that's on its correct layer, hidden. And again, I'm looking at the total length of the building. Now I know that this interrupts this line that represents that bottom edge of the foreshortened slope right here. But for just getting it on the top view, I'm going to draw it as if it was just one whole roof side. So now I have two rectangles. These are both foreshortened slopes sloping downward, and we don't have any chimney on it, and we don't have this intersection here that intersects the second roof line. So just to simplify, I'm going to erase just a couple extra things. This drawing gets a little bit busy, so I don't want to have too many projectors on at one time. So now we know that this wing of the building starts here and ends there, right? And we know how high it is, but we don't have to worry about height in this view. We just have to have the width and the depth. And this, because I'm looking at that peaked roof, I'm going, well, this part of the house is under this peaked roof, right? So it has a depth, you know, right there of 1.6. And this corner of it, if I project it up over here, is on the what I call the back edge of the top view, and it coincides with that. And then this edge, and let's put a projector on that, this edge of that wing with the lower ridge, and I'm not going to end the projector, I'm just going to get the depth. So this is the depth value, and it occurs right here between these two projectors. So this line is trimmed. Now let's project the roof pitch up there, the roof ridge. It comes up here, so it has a depth location that's been picked up, carried over, but where does it begin and end? Well, let's just remove any conflicting projectors. And we can see from this view, because we solved this for that intersection, that the ridge coincides with that projector. It begins here and it ends there. So I can just go to the object layer now and put a line connecting those. And that is where that roof intersects the first roof. And it has a boundary, right? This roof is bounded by that edge. And we can see that it terminates at this height, which is not the full height. That's going to create a line right here and right here, where the ridge drops down to the lower edge of the building roof. Now, to complete that, you have to make sure you remove your wall line there, because this roof is covering the wall. And now we just have to draw in the boundaries of the wall.